No, you're like objectively wrong.
You're wrong. Yeah.
You're absolutely wrong. Say whatever you want in the comment section. I don't care. It is a fantastic screenplay from beginning to end.
Yep. Perfect movie.
So,
no one can tell us otherwise.
greetings, fellow movie lovers. Welcome to 25 Cent Film, where we explore the world of cinema in the 21st century. I'm your host, McNeill Malignant, and I'm joined by your co-host, Justin Silva. Justin, how's it going today?
It's going very good. I'm excited to be back.
Me too. This is going to be interesting. So we've just come off of two drafts, our first drafts that we've done, horror and comic books. So now we're going back to a top five ranking episode. And today's top five list is going to be about plot twists in the 21st century. As always, we're sticking to 21st century because that's the nature of 25 Cent Film. And so there's so many plot twists that have, kind of caught moviegoers off guard throughout the last 25 years. I think in particular the 2000s and the 2010s, I don't really think there's been all that much with plot twists in this current decade, in the 2020s. But I'm really excited to get into this and see what's on our lists because we have an idea of like what's on each other's list. We had to like somewhat share this in advance to make sure we've seen these movies so we could talk about them. And I know you've watched some that I've recommended to you, and I think it seems like I had seen all the ones that you at least wanted me to be able to talk about. Yeah. So this is going to be very interesting because a couple of these movies, I have no idea what you're thinking. So going into this, where are you at? Where's your head at?
For your list, I'm excited to figure out the order of them, especially with the couple that I did recently just watch. With my list, I'm excited to relive a couple of them with you because we've never really talked about a couple of them. But I know there's one that is going to give you a good laugh, but I don't care.
Okay. So maybe a plot twist in an unexpected way, I guess?
Yeah, I don't think you'd expect me to put this on my top five because we've talked about this in the past. I see what you mean. Yeah, but
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Well, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
And we're starting at 5, right?
Yeah, starting at 5. We'll go back and forth and work our way up to 1.
Okay, so at number 5, we have the movie that I was just referencing literally 20 seconds ago. Okay. And that is none other than Malignant.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah.
Because remember, we talked about this on Cinema 3D's episode a while back. And
yeah, like last year.
Yeah, and me and John were floored by the plot twist, and you were like, I saw it coming like 5 minutes in.
It was so obvious. It was so obvious from the beginning. Like, I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's been 4 years since the movie came out, which is wild in and of itself. But I remember being about 10, 15 minutes in, and I was like, oh, I've clocked it. I don't remember exactly what the cues were at this point because I haven't seen it since. I just know that I was 10 to 15 minutes into the movie, and I went, oh, it's the girl. Yeah.
I think, looking back, there definitely is probably a couple moments in the movie where you could have figured it out. I can't remember them either because it's been a while, but
I think I actually just remembered it. It's when the first time you're seeing the creature, demon, whatever it's supposed to be, moving, and I was like, I think it's moving backwards.
Okay, yeah.
That was what caught me off guard, and I went, something's not right with just the way it's moving. And then it got my brain thinking, and I went, oh, it's her.
See, I did not pick up on that at all. I think I was so entrapped into what is going on as a whole, whereas you've clearly went deeper than I did. But at the same time, I don't know. something about it just got me and John to. I mean, and it was James Wan. I mean, so it has that
Yeah, I was
same
excited.
feel. But I do tend to. I mean, I've read a lot of reviews, and a lot of people didn't like that movie too. So I think I'm on the minority of liking that one. But
I
yeah, the
don't know if
plot
there
twist
is a
is.
majority with that movie. I think it's kind of split 50-50.
I think it came out at the wrong time for horror movies because it was right after COVID, and everyone was still trying to like see if they even liked movies. But I think
Yeah,
if that came out like last year or this year, it would have performed way better. Um,
I agree with that.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
because at that point, like theaters would be like theaters are
booming.
fully open,
Hmm.
doors wide open, and if it came out during October spooky season, whatever, I
Yeah,
think it would do a lot better today than it did then, especially with it being a James Wan property.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, the plot twist to keep it short is basically what you said. I mean, it's a girl the entire time, and then we find out that it's the entity is actually the same girl, but it's just like her brain opens up,
Right.
and it's really creepy. It's actually well done with the effects, but yeah, that's my number five. I couldn't figure out a different movie to put in there that felt right until this one.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I don't think you're alone because a lot of people really enjoyed that plot twist.
Hmm.
I think a lot of people were caught off guard, and I would expect that. There are some movies out there for whatever reason. Malignant was one of those where I clocked it really early on, which sucks for me because I was just like, oh,
Yeah,
well, that's a bummer because then it wasn't interesting. Like the first 10 to 15 minutes, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, a little campy. Wasn't
yeah,
like my all time favorite, but it was so predictable to me. But
yeah,
I get why it's on your list.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
No,
the
yeah,
effects are great. The effects were really good.
yeah. Wide angle shots in that movie.
Very good. Yeah. Cinematography too was good. All right. So this is going to be my, I guess, unconventional pick in terms of like what defines a plot twist because
Hmm.
I think this kind of walks the line a little bit. But I had to put it in my list, which is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, so what would you? I don't remember it all that well. What would you say is the plot twist? Is it
The
the ending
very
part?
end is the end with how Tarantino does his revisionist history thing.
Mm-hmm.
So in the past, in Inglourious Bastards, they killed Hitler. But the way it presented itself in the movie wasn't a plot twist per se. It was just a thing that happened pretty quickly. It wasn't like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. You kind of saw it coming, and you were supposed to. With Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it surrounds, it's building up to the murder of, well, what happened in real life with Sharon
Yeah.
Tate. And you're expecting that because the Manson family's involved. DiCaprio, his character, Rick Dalton, lives next door to Sharon Tate. And slowly in the background, the Manson family is kind of creating their scheme they're plotting the whole thing to go kill whoever's in Sharon Tate and whoever's in her house.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're about to go do that. And then as they're pulling up to the house in their loud car, DiCaprio walks out with his like margarita that he's making and he's yelling at them and he's drunk. And he's like, you whatever. I don't remember what he says, but get out of here. And they're pissed because, some celebrity has yelled at them and they're like, well, let's go kill him instead. And then there's the whole elaborate scheme where then the Manson family dies. They're murdered. They're brutally murdered by Brad Pitt's character, and then Rick Dalton, the DiCaprio's character, at the end with the blowtorch or the flamethrower, and it was just so funny. Like it's a
Yeah.
hilarious revisionist history, like full blown third act, and almost in a sense, and it's just. I don't know. It was so satisfying because what happened in real life was so grotesque and so horrible. Sharon
Mm-hmm.
Tate was nearly 9 months pregnant at the time
Jeez.
in real
And
life and was an up and coming actress. And then in the movie, the Manson family that were the members of the Manson family that committed the murders in real life were murdered in the movie. It was just so funny. And just the way it happens is so shocking. And the dialogue is hilarious with Austin Butler in that scene where he's like, I'm the devil. I'm here to do the devil's a business. And then Brad Pitt, he says, I know you. You were on a horsey. And just the crazy lines. And then he sicks his dog on him. And the dog, like, bites his crotch and is, like, you know, just going crazy. And it's just wild. It's hilarious. It's the funniest scene of all time, if you ask me.
I gotta watch this movie again because I think I either watched it at the wrong time or I just didn't know you yet.
That's fair.
It's probably fair. Both.
Yeah, and you know, there's people out there that have different opinions on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as a movie, particularly Tarantino fans. There are some that don't like it. There's a lot that really do, myself included. It's my favorite of his. It's the top 5 film of all time for me. As a plot twist, it's not the most conventional, so that's why I'm putting it a little bit lower on my list. But yeah, I think, you know, with you knowing me, and I think we've known each other for close to 2 years now, I think.
It's crazy.
Which is, I know that is wild. I think it would change your perspective on the movie for sure if you were just kind of meh on it before.
Yeah,
which is fair.
I was meh on it, but I like I told you before, I had no clue who these people were that were murdered or who the murderers were. Like, I've just never heard anything about that in my entire life. So now, even just what you said with the Manson being the murderers, it does kind of almost add a sense of, like, it is funny, but, like, payback after all these years, even though it's just a film, you know, it's almost that extra sense of, like, you know, screw you type of thing. Because that is sad. Like, I had no clue. I've heard the name Sharon Tate. I just didn't know much about her, and the fact that she was pregnant makes it even more terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, but I definitely will check that out.
Tarantino rewrites history is awesome.
Yeah, I have to do a full Tarantino watch through eventually, along with some other people. But he's one of those, man. I keep seeing stuff, and it keeps making me more excited to see some of the ones I haven't seen from him.
Yeah,
and even the ones I didn't like, I'm like, yeah, I'm down to rewatch it.
Yeah, I like most of his movies for the most part. I've seen them all. I'd love to watch them again. But yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's my number 5. So let's move on to yours.
All right, number 4 for me is Jordan Peele's Get Out.
Yeah, that's a modern day classic.
Yeah, that one. Literally the moment we saw it, I was like, that is a classic already. Like, and it has been. I mean, I think it's still his best. Even though I've seen 2. I've seen that and Us, but I haven't seen Nope yet. I don't see Get Out being topped. It's just that perfect formula of a film. But the plot twist, I did see it coming, like, probably 20 to 30 minutes before it actually happened, but that doesn't take away from it, because at the same time, like, I saw it could be happening, or it could happen, but I was like, is he gonna do it? And then he did it, and the way it was executed with the one scene where, I mean, there was the pre-plot twist with the whole selling scene where they were bidding on the art or whatever, or on the picture of, I forgot the character's name, but, you know, the main character, and the second one with the girlfriend, when she, like, just goes stone cold. That was the moment where I was like, whoa. Like, that got me, and it was executed, I think, to perfection. So yeah, it had to be in here. I almost put it at 5, but then I was like, no, it was handled better overall than Malignant, so that's why I landed at number 4. But I don't know, dude. Like, that's a movie I could rewatch quite often. It's a tight runtime, and it's got horror, but it's also super funny too, and it's dark. But yeah, I think Jordan Peele is going down that lane of James Wan, where he's got great horror concepts that are original, and they just always land well, regardless if, you know, I love them or not. I know that they are made so well. Like, even Us, like, I need to give it a chance again, but that movie is made, like, peak, honestly. It's just, it wasn't really for me at the time. So
that's actually my personal favorite of his. I love Get Out. I think Nope is really good, but Us is my favorite of Jordan Peele's filmography thus far. But yeah, Get Out has a fantastic twist. I mean, that was a movie that, especially in the horror genre, which doesn't end up getting as enough recognition as it does in terms of accolades, but Get Out was nominated for Best Picture that year. Had a shot, I think, of actually winning, but ultimately didn't. Not Call Me by Your Name. The Shape of Water won that year, which I'm also totally fine with winning.
Yeah.
There's so many movies that came out that year that I would have been okay with winning Best Picture, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, Get Out, it got multiple nominations, I believe, and the writing especially is a big standout, especially with how Jordan Peele came out of nowhere from doing Key and Peele YouTube and comedy. Everybody knew him as a funny guy. This is a guy that did menstruation orientation on YouTube. That video is hilarious. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And then go watch that juxtaposed with Get Out. It's like, what is going on in this guy's head, And Get Out was just kind of a way to tap into another side of him, and people were blown away by it. And the twist, I think, is probably one of the most notable things about it. So, yeah that was a good pick. Good pick for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So my number 4. So we were talking before we were recording about my number 4 pick. Not that you know what it is, but I was trying to decide between 2 movies for this spot. Only because I was like, I'm going to go with one from a particular director, and I don't know which twist to go with. And I'm talking about Christopher Nolan, because he's got a few. And this is my one Christopher Nolan movie in my list, and that is The Prestige.
Okay.
If it's on your list, I'll wait, and we can talk about it later.
It is on my list.
Is it higher up?
It is higher up.
Okay, then I'll stop there. We'll talk about it so we don't overdo it.
Okay.
Tell me what your number 3 is.
All right, my number 3 is a Nolan film, but it's not The Prestige.
Okay.
So that gives you a hint right there. Number 3 for me is Interstellar.
That was the other one that I was thinking about using, but I think as for plot twists go, The Prestige is a bit more plot twisty, whereas Interstellar has a twist, but I think it's more of an emotional conclusion.
Yeah.
Compared to The Prestige, where The Prestige was it was a true plot twist, and there's so many things that you can go back and pick up on for later, and that you could also interpret in different ways and have different theories, whereas Interstellar is a bit more concrete.
I feel that way about Interstellar as well, though. I've seen it quite a bit, and every time I do pick up something new. Not that I agree with you on the point that Prestige is more confusing, which makes it more interesting for the plot twist, and it has a lot more ambiguity. But I couldn't leave off Interstellar because it is a really simple twist where it's just it was her the whole time, it was Murph, but the journey to get there is also what elevates it for me, because it's like an almost 3-hour long movie, and I feel like throughout the movie you can start to see these little things, not that it correlates to Murph instantly, but when they're first traveling and you see the little jello thing come through. And then obviously the ones where he's punching the bookshelf and then the book falls off, all those little things with the Morse code, I feel like all of that added up together trumps the classic plot twist of Get Out, even though that one is more of a official plot twist because it just stone cold happens. Right. I love the way this one's delivered, and the emotion and the human aspect of it, where it's delving into those 2 characters specifically, but also all of mankind. But I agree with what you're saying. I don't know where I was really going with that.
No, I get what you're saying, though, because Interstellar, and you said that it was Murph the whole time, but really it was Cooper, because he was the one that was in the
Cooper the whole time,
in the Tesseract. But Interstellar, I think, from a narrative standpoint, definitely has a lot more weight behind it because, like you said, the scale of Interstellar is infinite, whereas The Prestige is a much more self-contained story of two magicians that were best friends turned into rivals, and there's a whole sci-fi bent to the movie that a lot of people wouldn't expect just going into a period piece and it's set in the late 19th century.
So good.
But with Interstellar, because that's your number 3, I think just from a pure story standpoint, I mean, Interstellar is my second favorite movie of all time. So yeah, that story point I prefer to The Prestige. I was just looking at it as purely just a plot twist. Which like I said, I mean, I was debating it between these two, so like I could go one way or the other depending on the day. But I think the twist in Interstellar, I heard Matthew McConaughey say this in an interview. I don't remember where I saw the interview, but it was a few years ago. Like, he says people would still come up to him to this day and say, like, Interstellar changed me, which is true. I walked out of Interstellar from the theaters, 14 years old, saw it in IMAX, and where I said The Prestige is a movie that I could, go back and like create new theories about what was going on. Interstellar isn't a movie where I do that, because like I said, the resolution is fairly concrete with the movie. Like here, like sure, it's abstract and getting there, but when it gets there, it's like, here's your answer. Yeah. Which is fine. And you can pick up new things going back, like details. Oh, I missed that. And that builds up to the same point. But with Interstellar, it got me thinking about all of these philosophical abstract ideas outside of the movie, like in real life. And that's something that all these other movies we've talked about aren't doing. But that is credit to Interstellar, because it's like, you can think about this in terms of the story itself, but also life and the, bigger meaning of things.
That is true, man. Like, it's crazy how much a movie can affect you and like change either your viewpoints or the way you feel that day or that month or your rest of your life. Because I feel the same way about that. There's a couple, like, I mean, Inception's one of them for both of us, but this one for a completely different reason. I feel like this just made, I don't know, like there was that overwhelming sense of defeat, but at the end, hope that transcended the screen, and everyone in that theater walked out just like calm. Like, I remember, like, it was over a decade ago for both of us, and I still remember that too. So like, it is it's everything you said is true about that movie, and I just makes me love it even more. I mean, it transcends the screen and plot and everything.
The things that movie has tapped into, or kind of forced my mind to think about from the age of being 14, and that I still think about to this day, is wild. And I will say later on in this episode, I'll kind of go a layer deeper than that with another movie. That kind of like, it's like same idea, but an even more, I guess, important way for me personally. But we'll get there. But yeah, dude, Interstellar is
peak.
Yeah, it's a fantastic pick. Like, you can't go wrong with Interstellar, and the people that think that the people that don't like Interstellar don't like it for the twist and think it's just cheap. It's a cheap cop out for the story. And I'm like, no, you're like objectively wrong.
You're wrong.
You're absolutely wrong. Say whatever you want in the comment section. I don't care. It is a fantastic screenplay from beginning to end.
Yep. Perfect movie. So no one can tell us otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my number 3. What is yours?
Okay, my number 3, I don't think is on your list, and again, if it is, let me know. This is actually a movie we watched together, which is Gone Girl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not on my list, but
I didn't think it would be.
It's like, it was number 6. It was right below.
Oh, so okay.
It was,
Okay, cool. So for the listeners, Justin and we were hanging out last September. So a year ago from roughly when this episode releases, I showed Gone Girl to Justin. He hadn't seen it. It was either going to be that or No Country for Old Men. We chose Gone Girl because he hadn't seen either one of those. Have you still not seen No Country for Old Men?
I still have not seen it.
Jeez.
But I did catch some new flicks in the past month.
Yeah, that is good. That is good. But yeah, so I showed Justin Gone Girl, and I was so excited to see his reaction to the twist because like it happens at a point where you're not expecting. Everybody thinks a plot twist happens at the very end of the movie, and for Gone Girl, it happens in the middle. And the whole time, the crazy thing about Gone Girl with the way this twist works is that, you know, the first half, you're thinking, oh, Ben Affleck's a bad guy. And the movie has you convinced of that because that's the narrative that the media is portraying. Then you get halfway through and the whole thing is revealed that Amy Dunn has been pulling the strings the entire time she's alive. She's framing Ben Affleck's character. Like, yeah, you know, he did a terrible thing. He cheated on her, and he is totally in the wrong in that situation. What she did is, like, psychotic. She didn't just one up him. She, like, 10-upped him. Yeah. You know, like, she took things to beyond the extreme. Yeah. And you get to the middle, and you still feel the momentum of the story. Like, you don't feel like, oh, okay, like, I've checked out. Everything's revealed. Like, true, no, yeah. There's so much more to happen after the twist is revealed. So the placement alone is what makes it so unique, but also just how well executed David Fincher made the twist was fantastic. Also, Amy Elliott Dunn, I think, is one of the greatest cinematic villains of all time, and probably literary as well. But such a well-written character. Yeah, based off a book. So that's my number 3. It's just a real it's a testament to how the media can completely take a story and manipulate it and make the public believe something entirely different, whether they are doing it knowingly or not. It's just a power of it's a true testament to fake news, basically. So
that's the simplest way you could put it. Because it's like, I mean, and that's the thing too. I feel I haven't really read into how many reviews, good or bad or mediocre, that the movie has. I would assume it airs towards better reviews.
Very, very positive. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What I was gonna say was, like, with movies like that, this one being the probably one of the best ones I've seen of that type of, like, I guess, fake news aspect, or like who did what. You get that whole side of people literally just taking the side of the sex that they are without even caring about what's going on in the plot, just because it's like, that's just how it happens. But it's like, no, you got to think more, whether it was her that was in the wrong or him. Like, as long as it's executed well, dude, that you have a movie right there. And I would have loved it either way. But I think the way that it happened, it just added to the fact of, like, oh, he did something terrible, but she was like, hold my beer.
yeah, for real. But you've got a good point. Yeah, like you're right. It's kind of instinctual to kind of take this, like you and I. Yeah. You know, well, actually, I take that back. Like, at first, like, I was like Ben Affleck. He did it. You know. Yeah. So is the media kind of pulling the strings of, like, making you believe a false narrative? And in this case, they thought they had the right story, but they were, you know, preemptive with it. However, it's you know, ends up being not what you expect, and it makes you question in real life. Like, you might hear a story kind of similar based on what the media was presenting, and then it makes you think, is that what actually happened? You know, it starts making you. It's a movie that kind of makes you paranoid and question everything, whether that's its intention or not. But it's great. It's a very well executed plot twist. I just remember the first time I saw it, like, my jaw was on the floor. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a really good one.
I think I've seen it like 5 times now. Still shocked every time, even though I know it's coming.
Yeah. Because there's so much around it too that you probably just forget the exact moment it happens, and then you're there. So yeah, I've only seen it the one time, but yeah, I need to check it out again down the road after No Country.
Yes. Yeah. All right, so Gone Girl, that's my number 3. So we're at your number 2?
Yep. My number 2 is The Prestige. So we can talk about it now. If you want to go first, you probably could describe it better because it's been a while since I've seen it.
So yeah, it's actually been a little bit since I've seen it as well. I think it's been 2 years. I have seen it a lot. Um, I watched it for the first time when I was 17, and when you're getting to the final moments, that's another movie where my jaw was just totally on the ground. I was catching flies.
Hmm.
Um, it's interesting. So, like I said earlier, it's about two. I almost said musician last time, and I almost said it this time magician.
Magicians.
Two magicians that are best friends. Something goes horrible in the very opening scene of the movie, for the most part, and they turn into rivals. So the rest of the movie is them basically trying to out magic each other the whole time, and they go to drastic lengths to try and basically get revenge on the other person. So this is Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale, and Hugh Jackman's character takes pretty drastic measures as he goes to Tesla and Nikola Tesla, and he clones
Played by a
himself.
musician. Sorry.
Yes, David Bowie. Yeah, the goat.
Yeah.
And so he clones himself because in this movie, it's another revisionist history thing, but Tesla has created cloning technology, and so Hugh Jackman clones himself to constantly, deceive Christian Bale's character. He's doing this trick, and Christian Bale's like, I don't know how he's doing this. Finds out at the very end of the movie that he's been cloning himself. Once you see all or you see the dead body in the thing. What's crazy to me about this is that you get to the end of the movie, you see him, he's doing the same trick that happened, or that, caused the death of his wife.
Hmm.
The movie, I think, speaks to trauma and how people relive trauma in their own minds. And in this case, he's not just doing that in his mind, but he's constantly forcing himself to re-experience the exact same way his wife died. And so it's like he's in this constant loop. He can't get out. He's stuck in it. He's stuck in the grief. He's stuck in the trauma. And he's always reliving it. And it's just a very tragic story. What's crazy, though, is Christian Bale's character is a twin.
Yeah.
Which is a bit, coincidental for a movie about cloning. So it's like, is there something there that, maybe happened that we didn't see? Is that a clone? My brother and I talk about that a lot because The Prestige is his favorite movie. And I don't think that's the case, but like, I understand there's an argument for it, but I think it's pretty clear that that's not the case, but it's not like the bow isn't all the way tied.
Yeah. Yeah. It never explicitly says, but I've always felt like he's an actual twin, which was the ultimate twist for Hugh Jackman's character, because he had to do it, like with the cloning, but Bale never had to, and he could do it and piss Angier off to no end.
Yeah.
There is so much in that movie that I'm just now remembering. That's just like, I've always said The Prestige is the most confusing of Nolan's films. Because people say Inception, and I'm just like, it's really not that confusing. Like, you just gotta pay attention.
I would argue Tenet.
I guess.
Only in the way Tenet
seen it
presents
so many
itself.
times.
Like, I understand
Yes.
Tenet. I think it's a lot simpler than people make it out to be. I think Nolan's trying to make it more confusing than it actually is, which thus
Yes.
makes it his most confusing.
That makes more sense. But on paper, on the like the script itself, I think The Prestige takes that title out of all of them for me.
That's fair.
Maybe because I've seen Tenet like about 30 times already, so I've kind of just seen the ins and outs. But yeah, I don't know. I do have to recheck out The Prestige because I don't even remember what my theories were back in the day. I also love, I know this is not relating to the plot twist, but I love how Michael Caine's character, right at the beginning of the movie, his his like little dialogue that he has literally basically tells you what's going to happen in the three
Yep.
acts, and it's just genius. Like it's so subtle. If you catch it, boom, you're there, but you
Mm-hmm.
still can watch the movie and enjoy it. So many details in that movie. That's incredible. And I mean, ScarJo's in it.
Yeah.
She's great. Like we said, David Bowie, Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis. Dude, it's a stacked cast. Nolan always has great casts. And yeah, like you said, you could go back and revisit The Prestige and catch all these details, you know,
Yeah.
whether it's details you caught the first time around or you're just catching for the very first time. Everything is like you're experiencing the movie for the first time when you're watching it, because it's so layered, it's so complex, but it's so captivating. And then you get to the end and you're just like, oh my God, you know. I go back to the how he's, you know, dying the same way his wife died on loop. Always he's dying the exact same way she did, just to be brought back to re-experience it every time. It just hits so hard, you know. It's wild.
I've never thought about it that way. So that changes things for me watching.
And that's something I didn't think about until the last time I watched it a couple years ago. Oh, and one last thing about The Prestige. This is crazy. Fiona, my girlfriend, she's been on the show. She does all the design for the show as well. She has only seen The Prestige the one time I showed it to her 2 years ago. And she predicted it. She figured it out. I don't know how she figures out movies all the time very well, very early in advance. And I was convinced The Prestige would be the one that'd get her, and it didn't. Like, it didn't stump her. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. She might hear me say this. She's literally on the other side of this wall. So I don't, she might be hearing me. I don't know.
And I thought you were the best at discovering plot twists.
I'm not the best at it. Yeah. Like I would say I'm decent at it. There are movies that I should catch and I just don't. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
But it's like the craziest ones. Like the movies that I catch were like Annihilation, The Others, Malignant. It's like these one-off or weird out there movies that, you know, I don't know. Those are ones that come to my mind that I predicted pretty early on. So, yeah. All right, but The Prestige, that was your number. Is there anything else you want to say about The Prestige? I feel like I talked too much about it.
No, I needed you to, because it's
okay.
I mean, I haven't seen it probably in almost a decade.
Okay.
Which is wild. I need to watch it.
Yeah, check it out again. But watch No Country first. So where are we? My number 2?
Your number 2, yeah.
Okay, so we're down to the 2 movies that I wanted you to see. My number 2 is Mulholland Drive.
Okay, yep.
All right. Before I get into the twist, I have to know what you think, because this is a movie that could go one way or the other. I'm convinced my number 1, I think you actually really liked. I could be wrong, but I'm so eager to know what you think of Mulholland Drive.
Okay, so
and be 100% honest.
My review on Q that I left was 4 words, and this was so bad. Let me give you a brief 1-minute thing on this movie. All right.
Okay.
I had to rent both of them. I had it scheduled to watch Arrival first because my flight was shorter on the first one. My second one was longer, so I was going to watch Mulholland second. Couldn't watch it on the plane because it just did not work out, so I watched it over the course of the next few days after that. So it took me 2.5 days to finish it, just because of the scheduling, but also one night I just got tired. My fault. But I watched the movie, finally got done with it after those few days, and the entire rest of that week I was looking up, like, what does this movie mean? Why do people like it? Am I missing something? Like, everything I could find. And I looked it up, am I missing something? Mulholland Drive, and literally like 100 Reddit posts was the same thing.
Oh, I bet.
Am I missing? What am I missing? And I researched David Lynch as well, and I'm like, I have to be missing something here, because even when I read some people's responses, where I've heard you briefly talk about it, but not in depth like I want to know today, in a short amount of time, obviously. But
Yeah.
I could not find anything to attach to in that movie for me personally besides the opening. Like the opening had me like hooked, and then all of a sudden it just didn't after the first actress is introduced, after she like walks down the hill and goes into the city. After that point I was lost slash couldn't find a something to care about, if that makes sense. um and from what I grasp, it's three different storylines that are just all dark and depressing, and they're in their heads, but they're not. I don't know. So like,
Okay.
I need help.
I'll help. So here's the thing with you have to realize about most David Lynch movies, because not all of them are this way, but a lot of them and the ones that he's known for are that what you're getting out of it could be a ton of different things. There are, the key concrete elements of it that, you should take away from it to kind of take and run and create your own interpretation with. But he leaves so much ambiguity that, could turn away audience members that aren't about that. I am, and that's fine if you aren't. And there's a lot of ambiguity in Mulholland Drive. The foundational things you need to know about it are that Naomi Watts' character, the main character of the movie, she is, an aspiring Hollywood actress, as the movie, wants you to believe. Mm-hmm. Who, the movie is taking place in her mind. The first roughly 2/3 of the movie, and then the last like 30 to 45 minutes, it switches everything, and it's basically the entire third act is the plot twist where you realize we've been in her head the entire time, and then you see the reality, which is that she was an aspiring actress and she was in love with this other woman who was essentially using her and knows that she was in love with her to kind of like manipulate the situation and work her way up. I think that's how that played out. And the movie is about Naomi Watts' character in the end wanting to get revenge on the other woman in the movie. Mm-hmm. So it's complicated. It's also a movie that like internally it makes more sense. It's the most difficult one to explain on my list because it's a David Lynch movie. And I think David Lynch fans understand it. I'm better at writing how I think or feel about something than I am speaking about it, because I'm a bit more cohesive in my writing and more linear in my writing, and my speaking is kind of jumbled.
Yeah.
So it's so complicated, but it's so fascinating. And so when the plot twist does hit, it's kind of like the shift between the dream state and reality, where, it wants you to believe she's been out of it for like days or a couple weeks or whatever, Mm-hmm. And then she wakes up and it's just completely different set of circumstances, almost like an alternate reality, which is another one of the theories. I do have the Criterion collection, which is right there. You can see the spine of it, right beside Midsummer. It's right here. And there's this all this writing in it where you could kind of read about like the different interpretations and the different things people are taking away from it, and the things that David Lynch is wanting you to pay attention to. Like there's that blue box in the movie that, kind of is a metaphor for drugs, essentially, which is a weird thing to pick up from it. If you've seen the movie, you understand what that means. But there's things like that you're, these objects that recur throughout the movie that you have to pay attention to that help you create your interpretation of it. But at the end of the day, it's that she's wanting to get revenge on the girl that she was in love with, who used her and deceived her,
Okay. Yeah.
And so, and then it's about her spiral into madness, pure psychosis. And it's in a way it's a revenge tale, but a very, very unconventional one at that.
Yeah.
So
I think that was the thing, man. It was like, because hearing you explain it makes sense with what transpired in it in the movie. I think I just did not like the way it was edited first and foremost because of it just made it way too hard to even pick up on those different storylines or the different realities type of thing.
mhm.
Whereas, like, yeah, I would say I am also one of them who love ambiguity, but I tend to like it more, I guess, when it's done in the latter part, like towards the end of the third act, where it leaves on an ambiguous note. This one was like ambiguous the entire time, I felt like, so I just couldn't understand anything, and I don't like when I can't understand. you know,
Yeah. No,
like people
that's
like us, I
fair.
feel like we just get frustrated, and I mean, I down the road, I'll give it another shot. Maybe after I
Yeah.
see some other Lynch films, because I need to know who he is and his style too, I think.
I would
But
say start
I'm
like
still
go back
glad.
and watch Twin Peaks, and that'll give you like a better idea for who
Hmm.
he is as a filmmaker, and then you could see some of his others and eventually rewatch Mulholland Drive. But
Yeah.
like the thing to know about David Lynch and particularly Mulholland Drive is his movies are very hyper focused on dreams
Hmm.
and surrealism and you know making you feel like you are experiencing a fever dream.
Hmm.
It's very fascinating.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite directors. Rest in peace. He died earlier this year, which is very sad. And I was watching
Rip.
all of his movies back then and
Yeah.
binged through Twin Peaks.
Oh, was it a show?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. No, that's
it's
right up
a
my
three
alley.
season show, and there's a prequel movie that you have to watch between season 2 and 3.
Okay, dope. Yeah, I'll definitely.
Yeah,
I love how when you said, "Oh, it's a show," I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm adding it to my queue."
yeah. But yeah, Mulholland Drive, like it's also one of those movies where like it's one of my personal favorites. It's top 10, top 15 for me of all time.
Mhm.
But it's also one for me to explain more coherently. It needs to be fresh in my mind, and at this point, it's been close to 2 years since I've seen it, and I've seen it a
Okay.
few times. But man, I want to watch it again right now. It's
Yeah,
so
I
good.
mean,
I should have watched it in preparation for this, but I think I explained at least like the gist of it of what it
yeah,
is at its core, what
yeah.
the twist is.
I definitely went in expecting a linear movie and a movie
Oh
that
no no
was
no.
not ambiguous. So wrong way to go into that movie. But
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, I think that's why I need another shot. But I still do think I won't like the editing, even if I do like the movie more, if that makes sense. Like I
All
think
of his
they're
movies are edited that way, so I guess at least know that going
yeah.
into his other
Okay.
properties, and it's something that grows on you. Like it's
Yeah.
it's not like immediately like, ooh, I like that. It's
Hmm.
very David Lynch. It's very much,
Unique. Yeah.
yeah, it's very much him.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Mulholland Drive. That's my number 2. So we are at our number
Number
ones.
ones. Number one. I feel like I talk about this movie way too much, but I can't not have it at number one. I've already said it's my favorite plot twist of all time, and that's Saw 2004. So
Yeah,
don't really need to talk about it much again. If you've heard any of our past episodes, it's probably mentioned. But the plot
yeah,
twist is dude's at the end. The dude has been laying there the entire time. He was alive the whole time. So simple, yet so mind blowing. So yeah,
yeah,
it's got to be number one for me.
yeah. I mean, like you said, you did talk about it on the horror draft episode 2 weeks ago. So
Hmm.
no, last week. Last week. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, no. It was 2 weeks ago because I'm thinking in terms of like how these episodes are coming out
yeah.
and not like
Yep.
yeah. Anyway, you get it. The audience may not. That was confusing, but yes, 2 weeks ago you talked
Ambiguous.
about it. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. I think it was just more me being stupid. But 2 weeks ago you talked about the horror episode. Saw was one of your picks.
Mhm.
And yeah, dude, that twist. To be honest, like I mean, it didn't make my list. It would be an honorable mention if we were doing those 100%.
Mhm.
it probably, of all the movie twists I've ever seen, was the one that like just shocked me the most, which you know probably makes it deserve to be on my list. There's others that like I prefer from a story standpoint. I get to the end of the movie and I felt like my jaw wasn't just on the floor. I had to like pick it up off the ground and like you know, like, sew it back on my face. Yeah. And it was just I don't know, like the movie, it's one of those movies where you're constantly trying to think about like who's doing this, how are things happening, what's going on, and right when you think like, oh, this is what's going on, it's like, nope, you're wrong. I think, and then you start coming up with new things. Same thing all over again.
Best way to put it, I think, out of all of them that have been mentioned, I would say it's probably the most unassuming one, which is why it just creeps up on you, because you're not expecting a plot twist to really happen, because you feel like there's already been some minor ones happen throughout the movie too. So I just think it's genius, brilliant, perfection. To put it in Magneto's words, I want perfection.
It is, I think, in just writing, from a purely writing standpoint, that is the best thing James Wan has ever done. My favorite movie of his, I think, is still The Conjuring. But that plot twist in Saw is like James Wan at the top of his talent. You know, it is so good. It is the craziest thing, and probably one of the craziest things to happen in horror history.
I mean, it set the franchise set the franchise off on a master run, and like you mentioned on the horror episode, it's been going for pretty
21
strong
years now.
For 21 years. Like, it's still successful, even though some of them have been duds. That doesn't matter. So that's my number one. I know what your number one is, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, okay, awesome. So, yeah, Saw, that was your number one. I'm glad that's on your list. It definitely deserved to be on one of ours, for sure, because that is one of the greatest plot twists ever. And I knew it'd be high up on yours, which is another reason why I was like, I'll hold it off mine so I can talk about other things. My number one is Arrival, which, like you said, through deductive reasoning, you've already figured that out. But that's the other movie you hadn't seen in preparation for this episode. You watched it. What do you think before I get into the twist?
I can't even get my smile off my face. I tried to like hide it, but I was writing down notes as I was watching it on the plane because I was that excited about it. I've never done that before about a movie. Like 10 minutes in, I was hooked, and I stayed hooked the entire time. And I love that movie so much already. So the one thing doesn't take away from the movie at all. Just like Get Out, where I said like I kind of saw it happening a little bit sooner than when it happened. I had the idea of like, what if the plot twist is the plot twist, and I got it right like within the first 10 to 15 minutes. I don't remember the moment, but there was a moment I'll text you about after we finish where I wrote it down and I was like, this is the moment where I figured it out. I don't know if you figured it out pretty early, but
I did not.
I still was blown away by the movie itself. Like, it's I don't know, it's like it's on the same playing field as Interstellar, not on the same ranking spot, but it's right there, dude. Like, it's crazy how I never got around to see this movie, and it's very similar concept with obviously way different things that happen, but like I feel like the gist of it was a similar concept, and the same feeling it gave me, man, where it was the human aspect and just connection and like the overwhelming feeling of like, what do these little things that we do on a daily basis matter if we don't have like each other, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I thought it was brilliant. The score absolutely rocked my socks. If that makes any, knocked my socks off.
It could have rocked them off too.
I've listened to it at least once a day. That's how much I love it.
Wow.
I need to read you or send you my review after the fact because I think
Yes, please. Yeah.
you'll just love it. But yes, now I want to hear you talk about it.
Okay.
But all in all, I love this freaking movie.
Yeah. So I'm really glad you liked it. I thought you would because it's right up your alley. I was kind of surprised you hadn't even seen it in the first place.
Yeah.
Just to give some context to people who are listening, if you've listened this far and you haven't seen some of these movies, like bravo, I guess. But like,
Yeah.
why do you want these things spoiled for you? Arrival, spoiler alert. Here we go. But Arrival is about. It's not an alien invasion. It's more of an alien observation, I guess you could say. There's these alien pods that are, hovering over a few different areas on Earth. And the one that the movie's focused on is in Montana, I believe. And Amy Adams' character, Dr. Louise Banks, she is a linguist. And so the military recruits her to essentially try to communicate with the aliens and also attempt to learn their language. That's the synopsis of the movie, but the twist is that, as you're getting these presumably flashbacks of her life with her kid, you realize that as she learns the aliens' language that they speak, or the way they understand life, isn't linear. It's very non-linear. And so Amy Adams learns how to think this way and speak this way. And so all the flashbacks that we've been seeing are actually flash forwards. So you realize that she as what we are processing as her past, she's then realizing that this is actually her future. This is her kid. Her kid is going to get sick and her kid is going to die. But she still chooses to, she still chooses that life.
Yeah.
Because that's what was meant to be. That's her kid. Even though that the tragedy happens, she still wants to experience all the good that came out of it. It's a very powerful story. It's got a very powerful message. Amy Adams'
like a
character
baby at the end.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Amy Adams' character is a very powerful person. And it's, you get to the end, and once you realize that this is actually the future and not the past, it just makes you, it hits you in the gut.
Yeah.
Where you're like, she still chose that, knowing the outcome of not just her life, but the death of her child.
Yeah.
And
so sad.
just imagine, like, that's why I also wanted your perspective on it, because I'm not a parent. So like, I imagine this movie would hit even harder if I was. I watched it with my parents, and at the end, my mom was bawling like a baby. And
Dude, it's hard, man.
And I was honestly not expecting that, just because I was just so thought provoked that by the end of the movie, like, I was so captured in the philosophy of it, and just like what I was talking about with Interstellar earlier was that Arrival is one of those movies that also got me to ponder all the same abstract ideas that go along with what's the meaning of life and all those really deep philosophical questions. Arrival was doing that in the same way Interstellar was, but on a more, honestly, I would say, spiritual way. It kind of helped me shape my own worldview in a way of thinking about things that are, greater than.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, especially from the whole non-linear approach. Really puts things in a different perspective. I don't have a tattoo, but if I ever were to get one, it would be in that language of the aliens in Arrival, and it would be the one that represents non-linear time. I'd want to get it on. I keep doing this right here because I want it right there on my shoulder.
That would be really dope.
Yeah,
I'll
do it someday.
Everything about that movie is just so fascinating and really cool. Like, I mean, just they had to create an entire freaking look for that language. Like, I cannot imagine how much time that took, and that's just one small aspect of the movie. I mean, it's a huge aspect of the movie, but I mean, it's one small thing that they had to accomplish to get this movie done. The look of the aliens, the vibe of the way it was shot too, the cinematography, like I don't know, it literally is a perfect movie. And yeah, I completely understand it being number one on the plot twist thing. I also knew it was going to be on your list as well, and Gone Girl. So
Yeah.
but then Prestige, I didn't care. I guess I just needed to mention that twice. But
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, going back to your point about the kids and stuff, like I was trying not to even think about that, but it just I couldn't. I had to.
Yeah.
But even
yeah,
without the
absolutely.
kids, it hit me that much. But like that added that much extra, and also not even just that, but uh, Amy Adams' character and Jeremy Renner's character, like
Yeah, that
that
too.
was the thing I pieced together quicker than the daughter being from the future, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I figured that out first, which then I'm like, oh well, if that's the case, then obviously it has to be her daughter or whatever. But like I said, it does not matter because the movie just hit me on such a deep emotional level,
Yeah.
and the score elevated that even further.
And
So like I
the
said, I was
track that plays at the very end on The Nature of Daylight by Max Richter, or
mhm,
I think that's how you pronounce his last name. The quartet that plays that track at the end, like it's a
yeah,
pre-existing song, but like, and it's been used in other movies like Shutter Island and Togo, whatever. But
it
the
just
way
fits
it's
so well.
utilized in the end of that movie, like it makes the emotion hit even harder.
Hmm.
And the end of the movie, like it hits intellectually and emotionally equally as strong, and
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
it's incredible. It's my favorite Denis Villeneuve movie as of right now. It has been others, but mostly it's been Arrival.
yeah. It's my favorite of his as well. I wrote that at the very end of my review. I was like, nothing, no other film from him besides 2049 comes close to touching this one for me. I know Dune and Dune 2 you love a lot, and
Prisoners.
Prisoners I do. I almost watched that this past week, but I didn't get to.
Oh, you haven't seen
That
Prisoners?
no, that
Oh
one
God,
does have a chance. I'm not gonna lie. I just haven't seen it yet.
it does.
Um,
It's got the
but
opposite effect for kids, though. Tough
yeah,
to
so
watch as a parent, I imagine.
yeah, so I because of it being Hugh Jackman, who else is in it? Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I think it has a strong chance, but I don't know. Arrival, I think, is the inception of Villeneuve for me.
yeah,
Um, even though
yeah.
it is Interstellar more, but
No, but I
uh,
get what you mean. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, dude, I'm so glad you forced me to watch both of them, honestly. But obviously, since I really did love this one off first viewing, I've been looking for where to buy it, and it's just not in stores near me, so I have to buy it online. But like, it's
yeah,
I need to buy the highest end steelbook I can find because it deserves it.
yeah. 100%. Yeah. With I'll leave Arrival with this. This is a quote from Amy Adams' character, Dr. Louise Banks. If you could see your whole life from start to finish, would you change things? It's very interesting to think about.
Doesn't she tell that to Renner's character?
I
Or
think that's the opening quote of the movie, if I'm not wrong. It's been a while since I've seen
it could
Arrival.
be, it could be because I feel like she did ask, or she did ask or tell him that, and he had an answer. I just can't remember what he said.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
that yeah, that is such a great quote.
Yeah,
I'm gonna show my wife, even though it'll be hard for her to get through the kid stuff.
yeah.
It's a lot more tame than some other kid stuff we've seen though. So,
Oh yeah,
but I
way more
think
tame than Prisoners for sure.
good to know about Prisoners because I had no clue about any of that. I would have just gone and been like, "Oh, it's a Wolverine
Oh,
movie."
dude, Prisoners is the as I know people who have seen it who are parents, and it is extremely hard for them to sit through as a parent.
Sheesh.
So
Okay.
just know that, I'd say.
Yeah, no, good to know.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps it up for this episode. That's my top 5, your top. Read your top 5, and I'll do mine real quick just so people remember real quick.
All right. Number 5, Malignant. Number 4, Get Out. Number 3, Interstellar. Number 2, The Prestige. And number 1, Saw.
And then I had a number 5, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Number 4, The Prestige. The Prestige. Number 3, Gone Girl. Number 2, Mulholland Drive. And number 1, Arrival. Chime down in the comment section below. Let us know what you think of our lists, and leave yours below. Let us know if you think there's anything that we missed, if there's anything that you think that we're totally wrong on. We're open to all of it. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, so whenever the new episodes drop, and stay tuned for more episodes coming, and we'll catch you next time.